Hi, I'm back. It's me. I know I said weeks ago that I was gonna start doing this, but I was working, so shut up. But freaking don't shut up. You're my friend. But I just wanted to sit and I wanted to conversate and I wanted to talk about mindfulness and just really observing and absorbing the world and like what's going on around you. I feel like, and also another thing is this also has to do with my mindfulness, so don't get mad at me. But I was like, I don't have time to edit any of these videos. I'm always on the go. And then I was like, there are people out there who are just like me, who will watch a video through and through and the person didn't edit it at all. So I'm just gonna do that. And I want like-minded people around me who sit there and actually listen to what is being said and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna, yeah. But I'm Zoe. I'm 21 years old. I was born May 27, 2004. I've been through a lot in my life. I'm only 21, but I feel like I'm 21,000, 2100. What are you talking about? But no. I've experienced a lot, and I don't want to say that I'm super mature or anything like that, but I know I have a good head on my shoulders. And also I'm trying to be mindful about the things that I say. I like to think that I have a good head on my shoulders versus I have a good head on my shoulders. I know that I have a good head on my shoulders. You know what I'm talking about? But no, I was talking to my no, I've been reading books. I've been reading. But freaking it's called How to See and How to Sit. Let me pull it out. That's what she said. That's what he said. How to Sit. This is his name. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, no, this one is just about practicing meditation and mindfulness and how to see. It's how practicing mindfulness and how to absorb the world around you for what it really is. And I really like those books. I really do, because I just feel and I feel like a lot of people go through this. If you're in this age bracket or around this age and you had been cheated on, you just lose your sense of trust, not only for that person but for yourself. And I feel like that's why a lot of people distance themselves from people after they go through things like that, instead of looking for connection and community, because it's turn your entire world on a 360. If that one person who said this and the third, and they're supposed to be my forever and we're not supposed to lie to each other, can do all that grimy stuff, what's stopping anyone else from doing it? And I also think it adds an extra layer if you grew up with in an abusive household or just a neglectful household, because then it's okay, my parents treated me this way, and it's they're supposed to be my parents, and then you find this person and they promise you they're not going to treat you this way, they promise to give you the world, and they don't do that, they treat you terribly, and then you're okay, I can't trust my parents, I can't trust my significant other, who's to say I can trust my friends? A lot of people go through that, and I don't blame them. But a thing that I wish that I had told myself when I was 19 years old and I got cheated on, because it's not a big deal. It is a huge deal. It's huge, but in I'm gonna be alive for 70, 80, 90 years. Okay, that stupid loser cheated on me and lost this good little piece of chocolate. What are you talking about? He's never getting a Hershey kiss ever again, But something that I wish I told myself is that everyone has different backstories. Not to excuse anyone cheating, but if you want to understand the situation, rather than just blame yourself and try and figure out what you did wrong and the why behind it, I say, really notice and deep the fact that everyone is different. Everyone has different childhoods. Everyone has been raised in different communities, environments. So many factors go into a person. You never ever truly know a person. The only person who truly knows us is God. But when you really deep that and know there's a whole childhood that this person could have had before you walked into their life. When me and my ex were dating, we met when we were 18. 17 years of him that I did not know. And we jumped into it quick, not to blame anybody, but actually, yeah, because we all do play a part in our own suffering. and you have to sit there and acknowledge that, and you have to come to terms with the fact that you're a human being, and you have to accept humility. And you make mistakes. You don't judge people the way that you should. You don't take heed of certain signs, and because all in the name of love, this and the third, like, you know what I'm saying? But I wish I had told 19-year-old me that, so that she could understand it more, instead of just being like, what did I do and why did I do this? Like, this is a whole nother person with a whole life outside of you. Even though you guys are working on building a life together, he had a whole life prior to you. He's gonna have a life after you. Same thing for you. So it's like, and you never know how a person's feeling. They could act a way and say a thing, but that's not truly how they feel. Or they could feel a way and act a totally different way, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like mindfulness, and like being really truly aware, and like questioning everything. And I hate to say that, because people, it like makes it seem like you can't trust anybody or this and the third, but just like, you don't have to lack trust in people to question their intentions with you. It could just be, that's just how you, and I think that is how everybody should get into the relationships, friendships, family. Like, after you hit a certain age, it's definitely family. And I also think practicing mindfulness in terms of family as well, especially when I go like into arguments with my mom, I will be very upset, like, and I'll see things from a very one-sided perspective. But then when I really deep it, I come back to the fact of, she had a whole life before me being born. My mom has known me my entire life. I've known my mom for maybe a fraction of hers. Like, and don't ever play with my mom. My mom is not old. I'm just saying a fraction because I'm not gonna do quick maths right now, okay? But it's not like 1/32 of her life. Like, that's insane. But like, when I really deep it, like, my mom has been through a whole different generation of parenting, of being parented, than I have. And like, if I think that I had it bad, my mom was Caribbean, is Caribbean, she's a woman, and her parents were neglectful and abusive. So I don't even have to get into it. If you know, you know. If you're Caribbean or Caribbean American, like, you already know. It's like physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, like, it's just abuse, like, and a lot of it gets swept under the rug. So when I take all those factors into consideration, not to excuse certain things that my mom does, but it does give me an understanding, so that I'm not sitting there and getting mad at myself or hating her, like, it's just wasted breath. You know, everyone dies, and that's something that I say all the time, and people take it the wrong way. I'm always like, oh, it's okay, I'll live, and if I don't, I'll die. Everyone does, and everyone thinks of it as, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I need to get out of here, I'm gonna, but no, it's just the fact of like, everyone dies. Like, why waste my breath or my time being angry? Why waste my breath or my time arguing, when it's like, these are things that can be solved like that with communication and like comprehension. I was reading the book, and it was telling a story about a man on a ship, and this ship is like driving towards him, and he's honking, like blowing the steam at the ship, like, yo, 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 you about to hit my ship, yo. So he swerves on that corner, and he gets out the way of the ship, and he's like, oh, at the ship. The ship goes by, there's no one on the ship. Who are you mad at? You know what I'm saying? Just take a step back and like really observing the situation, and getting, and I'm not saying this like I'm a professional observer, like, no. I am so incredibly flawed, and a part of me thinks that's so beautiful, because it's such a blessing to be able to work on yourself. We're gonna have to work anyway. Life is work. You have to work. Your body is working 24/7. You don't even know it. Why not work on yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's such a blessing to be working on yourself, to level up this, that, and everyone, why, how'd you do that? Me, I discipline myself, I parented myself, I instilled these things into myself, I practice mindfulness, I decided to forgive and forget the version of the person, not what they did, so that I can make steps accordingly, and they can prove to me that they're deserving of my trust. I think that everyone is deserving of trust from jump. Like, why? And maybe that's a flawed thing about me too, because I am listening to myself say that, and I'm like, but like, I do trust everyone at first. I think and I respect everybody 110%. I feel like everyone is deserving of respect. I don't think respect is earned. I think respect can be lost. Very much though. I don't think respect is earned at all. I think respect is something that is just given from birth, like a name. I think respect is, we're human beings. Like, what are you talking about? You don't respect me because you don't know me. That doesn't make any sense. You didn't know freaking King Henry V and you respect his ass, and didn't he kill, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, like, let's keep it a buck. So I don't really like it when people are like, yeah, I give respect to those who I deem deserving, which is another thing, because who are you to deem anyone deserving of anything? Last time I checked, your name isn't G-O-D. So what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? There's a level where people you give people that respect and that trust, and they break it over and over and over and again, you know, and they show their ass to you every single time, and every time they're showing their ass, nothing is white. So it's just a shitstorm. You know what I'm talking about? Literally. But like, I think that's when I say, like, and also that's something that the Bible says to forgive and forget. And I don't know if this is 110% real, so I need to talk to a pastor about it. But I always think that God meant to forgive and forget that version of the person, not to forgive and forget the issue and forget that person entirely and move on with your life. No, I think that forgive you, and I'm forgetting that version of you when you were 17, when you were 19, when you were 15, because you're 23, you're 25 now. Who am I to hold the actions that you made when you were 17 and not as educated as you are now against you? I was a stupid 17-year-old. I was an 18. I can't sit there and lie in anybody's face and say, yeah, at 18 years old, I was the most mature and I was making the smartest decisions, and I was thinking of every single person while I made those decisions. Like, no. And it's okay. Like, that's fine. And I love 18-year-old Zoe. I love her. Sure, she wasn't the most mindful, and she wasn't the most respectful to everybody, and wasn't the kindest at all. Well, I've always been super kind. But, like, to some people, I wasn't super kind. But, like, it's the fact that I can acknowledge that now, and I can accept that, and that's what I knew at the time, and that's what I felt was right at the time. That's how I observed my environment, and my environment and my peers poured into me, and because of that, I made decisions that I did, because I personally did not stop and think for myself. I stopped to think based on my environment and based on all the factors that have been instilled into me my entire life, when that's not me. That's things that I have learned and people have taught me. So growing up, it's important for me to just be mindful and, like, really learn what I love and what I don't love, and, you know, what I find irritable, and, you know, the qualities that I want in a friend and a partner in the future, what kind of person I want to be, what kind of things I want to instill into myself. And sometimes when it gets hard to do it for myself, I think, like, what do I want to instill into my kids when I grow up? Like, am I going to be sitting there? I never knew how to bake bread, and when my kid turns 7, I'm telling them, what do you mean all women bake bread? Google it and figure out how to bake bread. That doesn't make any sense. You know, I have to have these traits in me already in order to be that good guide for my future children, and a good parent. You know what I'm saying? Life is so difficult. There's no guidebook to parenting, or, like, even being a friend, or even being a human. There's no guidebook to any of it, and I think that's so beautiful, because you can do anything anyway, and so many different things, so many different ways. It's so crazy to think about, like, when you really think about all the freedom and, like, free will that we do have. It's insane. And a lot of times I do understand that can be paralyzing to people, because I do realize, and I do notice that a lot of people, like, will be like, yes, me finally realizing I have free will, and they stand on a table for like 20 minutes and then they don't do anything with their life for the rest of their life, because they're like, well, I mean, I have free will. I literally can sit on this couch all day. Yes, you can. And you can also waste away. Yeah, that's also an option. Are you gonna pick door number 2? Like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? But not to say that resting is not important, or it's like like, you know, you should be doing more important things. But I'm saying balance, you know? Can't be resting all the time. Can't be working all the time at all. Can't be, you know, I don't know. You can't be anything all the time. But you can try. Well, you can't, I wouldn't say try to be anything all the time, because what the heck? But yeah, no, I don't know if this is a good video or a bad video, or if my yapping is annoying or whatever. I don't know. I just yap a yacht. I just yap a yacht, and no, I just yap a lot. I talk a lot, and sometimes I feel like the words are wasted because I know that I am so smart, and I love talking to people and just, you know, learning them deeper and learning myself deeper, because a conversation with somebody about them and their legs could open a whole door for you, like you don't even know. I was talking to this lady at the grocery store today about how she was talking about ballet and this, that, and the third, and I was talking about how I used to do ballet when I was younger, and she was saying, oh, why'd you quit? And I was like, I didn't really quit. I'm not gonna lie, my father took me out of it. He was jealous he couldn't hit a plie like this bitch. What? No, I'm just kidding. But no, he did take me out of it. Anyways, I was talking to her, and she, at the end of our conversation, she invited me to come to her dance studio, and I tried it, which is so cool and lovely and amazing, and just so, it's like such a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Just like, be mindful and be kind, you know, don't let people walk all over you. You don't have to be a sucker or a doormat to be kind, okay? What did Marvin the Martian say? Be polite, always be nice, make sugar your favorite spice, BEPOLITE. Exactly, do that. You know, it will just make you feel so much better, and make you so much wiser, and make you feel so good about yourself. Like, even right now, sitting here in this car and having this conversation with myself and this camera, like, this is the best 16 minutes of my life. I'm not kidding. I'm having a blast. I love what I have to say. I love problem solving while I'm talking. Discovering things while I'm mid-sentence is literally I could feel my neurons exploding with wisdom. It's so beautiful. But yeah, I just thank God all the time for letting me experience life. It's so insane. He never had to do any of this. Honestly, when you really deep it, he never had to do any of this. And I'm just sitting in my neighborhood looking at the trees in my neighborhood, and even this is like jaw-droppingly beautiful. Like, God is just so good, and God loves you, and I love you, and I hope that you learn to love you, and you love to love you, and love to learn to love you. I really do, okay? I hope you have a great everything for the rest of your life. Literally. Okay, let me go. Okay, bye.